Ubisoft. Sometimes you go forwards. Sometimes you go backwards. Hi everyone. So, Ubisoft seems to be the center of attention this week with their Ubisoft Forward event. Well now, the company with which many gamers may have a love-hate relationship showcased their upcoming games and updates in an event named Ubisoft Forward. Good luck moving forward, Ubisoft, and I mean it. But bear in mind that you sometimes move backwards, and that's not because of your games. Many people are put off by your monetary schemes that accompany your games, and if anyone from Ubi sees this video and somehow can influence the big decision making in your company, take this advice. You make good games, and then you ruin them with your own greedy in-game stores. I mean, come on Ubi, you buy a AAA game and you're supposed to unlock cosmetics and other stuff with money? To end my little criticism, I will only say, look at CD Projekt Red's business model and how they became the #1 European game developer. Now forward to your event. I'm actually eager to talk about it, because I've seen some really amazing eye candy there. In not the very long past, an event happened, to be more accurate, a few hours in the past, called Ubisoft Forward. This is a new show made by Ubisoft to substitute this year's cancelled E3. We wanted to showcase a few moments that got our attention and talk a little bit about them. They presented 3 games and revealed one more. Well, at least if you don't take into account the Might and Magic mobile game and some updates for The Crew 2, The Division 2, Just Dance and some other games. So the big boys in Ubisoft's lineup. The first big game to be showcased was Watch Dogs Legion. The third installment in the series presented a different kind of story, the birthing of a new resistance movement. We have seen some new gameplay mechanics, improved shooting, and an overall better feeling when moving or shooting. The graphics looked really good, but overall the game felt like a Watch Dogs title, and it played like a Watch Dogs title. The second game they presented is called Hyperscape, which at this moment is in open beta, so if you want to give it a spin, go right in and download it, and jump in it, figuratively and literally. The game is a free-to-play first-person shooter battle royale, but it has a twist to it. They decided to go for an interesting mechanic by letting viewers on Twitch to change the outcome of the matches. The gameplay shown was quite fast-paced, with lots of movement, especially high jumps, though I kinda have the feeling that this particular gameplay was a bit staged to make it more impressive than it really is, and the actual gameplay will be a bit more slower, I think. You can expect it to include all the previous mechanics that most battle royales have. They didn't go into depth about the cash shop, but we know that they will have skins in it. Like I said earlier, the game is already in open beta, so if you want to create mayhem and make others cry tears of "Aw, that player is so skilled," go right in and have a blast. The third game they showcased was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You can safely say that this was the star of the show. They really wanted to put it in the center of attention, and to be frank, they did a good job at it. This new Assassin's title is set in the era of Vikings and raiding, when the Danes attacked the Saxons for land and wealth. You will play as Ivyr, which can be a female or a male, your choice. At this point in our society, I'm amazed they didn't include the choice to identify yourself as an attack helicopter or something. Anywho, the game looked amazing. It has some nice vistas and the villages that were shown looked authentic. It looked really immersive, and just from watching it made me feel like I was part of that era. There are some really talented people that work on this project, and it shows. Gameplay-wise, well, the gameplay looked really fun. They changed the combat from previous titles even more. Now it's brutal and visceral. Not only that, but now you can dual wield any type of weapon, even shields. Yes, you heard that right, you can dual wield shields and do some crazy stuff with them. From what I could tell, they changed the gameplay to something more akin to Dark Souls. I won't lie, it looked interesting and fun, with lots of ways to approach the battles. Kudos for that. They bragged about the different enemy types. They introduced magic for enemies, not sure if you can have it as well. Sorry, I mean mystic powers. They call it mysticism, but we all know it's magic. It is based on the myths and legends that lived through the centuries. Personally, I think it's cool and adds a lot of dynamic to the fights. You will have a base of operations, basically a town that you can upgrade and plan assaults on keeps and castles. You will be able to sail on ships and of course, you will be able to listen to shanties while cruising the surface of the water. There are different events scattered around the world, hunting and, what got my attention? Choices. The matter that changes the state of the world. They promised choices that will be hard to make and impact the player in a personal kind of way. Can't wait to see that, or more accurately, to feel that. The last bit of pie was the reveal of Far Cry 6. They only presented a short trailer, but it got my attention. To give a different spin to the meaning of the grenade, we could compare the kid to nature, the grenade to the year 2020, and us being down there fighting our hardest to make this shitty year be better. Anywho, I digress. The trailer looked interesting. There will definitely be a war. My guess would be about freedom or liberation and the rise up against a tyrant that only sees his way or no way. Overall, the games presented were interesting and looked quite good and fun to play, but knowing Ubisoft as a company, I have my share of skepticism. I'm quite curious how they will handle microtransactions in these games. Personally, I hope they will be non-existent, except for the free-to-play title. I really want the bullshit they pulled with the previous Assassin's Creed titles with pay for progression or risk grinding for all eternity gone. That was really cheap and manipulative, a thing that I personally hated. Another concern I have is the game graphics. They looked amazing and I have this constant poking thought in the back of my head telling me that what we see at this moment will be downgraded and it's just a marketing ploy to present a shinier product than it actually is. But let's hope that won't be the case and the eye candy we saw can be delivered with the processing power of the next gen consoles. I also do want to mention something else at the end. Okay, the games shown were amazing, and I'm really looking forward to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, even though it's literally going to be launched in the same month as Cyberpunk. But still, where is Beyond Good and Evil 2? Come on Ubisoft, you showcased some amazing things and then silence. At least let us know if you're still working on it. And now before we go, we leave you in the company of Maya Angelou's quote. You will face many defeats in life, but never let yourself be defeated.